And what is up? We are live. We have Mr. Agitator from V is for Villains. You guys have not seen these guys live. It is the greatest fucking show on the planet. Kind of like how Barnum and Bailey Circus was. These guys are much better though.
Man, you're making my heart melt. That's amazing. Thank
So
you.
what's going on, man? How you guys been?
We've been well. We've been well. We're trying to survive. We're out here in Chicago. Some of us in Chicagoland area, some of us in Chicago proper. We're trying to, keep it together. We're trying to get through all of this protesting and, trying to be supportive as much as we can as the cause. But it's intense out here. It's intense.
He froze for a minute.
Did you lose me? Hello?
Technology. There you are.
Hey, I'm back.
Freaking technology. You would think with all this technology that they could work out internet and shit.
I know, right? Apparently that's not a thing. They don't let us do
No.
that.
Apparently not. It's like I got this beautiful freaking green screen and all this other shit
Right.
we could do, but yet they can't work out the internet issues.
Right. It's
Come
always
come on
my
guys.
name is stop.
But anyways, what do you guys got going on?
We've got everything going on. We've been busy. I actually all day today I've been in here recording, tracking, keeping things moving. We've had just like everybody else, we've had a lot going on and trying to quarantine and stay safe, and that's put us in an opportunity to do a lot of live shows online, a lot of streaming. We've done stuff through Jeff Mock Events. We've done Dark Side of the Con. We've been keeping busy. We've been fine tuning our process and trying to make something new for
He
everybody.
froze again. Hold on, guys. Oh Lord.
Apparently,
Don't
I'm
you
not
love
allowed to
the
play.
internet? There we go.
Am I back?
Yeah, you're
So
back.
I gotta keep my answers to like 30 seconds or less. I'm like, we're doing well. Freeze. How are
I don't.
you? Freeze.
Yeah, normally we don't have this crazy of a. Usually my internet's pretty damn good, so I don't.
Yeah,
I
I don't
don't
know
know.
what's
That's
up.
that's
I know
weird.
it's nuts, man.
So you
Wow.
guys have been busy. Actually, I just did. I was just on with Jeff earlier about an hour ago,
Nice, nice.
and I think you guys are going on for Jeff tomorrow, at 3:30 or something.
Well, I'll be on doing a live interview, so I'll be
Okay,
talking and doing this. So that's pretty cool. It's going to be fun. So all of you out there, tune in.
I
If you have any
got you.
questions, I'll try to answer it.
So you guys got smashed pretty hard by COVID-19, didn't you?
We did. We got decimated. Chicago was a big hot zone, just like New York. So everything shut down. Everybody has been indoors or trying to
I need the
navigate.
Jeopardy theme song. Anybody? Jeopardy theme song. Sorry, guys. There he goes. All right.
Yeah, I'm back. Am I
Yeah,
actually
you're back.
back now? Oh
Yeah,
wow,
you're back.
amazing. Yeah, no, we got hit hard. It was a red zone, so it was pretty intense.
Yeah, that's the same thing with us. We had a pretty much a full summer planned out, and it just got fucking wiped.
Same
Just,
thing. We had a lot of shows, we had a lot of events, stuff coming up, and just decimated all of it.
I think the only thing that we really have left is there's one festival we have left that's near you, in Cave Rock, Illinois, I think.
Okay,
And then we have the filming for Clown Motel 2 at the end of August.
awesome.
And
That's really
that's it.
awesome.
And that's it. Now I want you guys you've never been on here, so explain to everybody kind of how Vias for Villains got started.
Yeah, for sure. So as long as I don't cut out, I got to keep this to 10 seconds or less.
Oh, he cut
No.
out. He'll be back in a minute. There you go.
And that's how everything happened. It was super, man, it was a crazy story. I'm glad I got to share it with all of you.
Everybody's like, what
That's
the
my
fuck?
answer. I'm sticking to it.
Everybody's like, what the fuck? What just happened?
Oh my god.
It's weird.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on there. It's crazy. We've broadcast through here a million times. So it's kind of strange. Don't know why. Don't know why the internet's hating me right now. But I'm sure there are a lot of people streaming out there right now. A lot of people using bandwidth. Um, so to answer the question as quickly as possible before I go bye bye again, um, I had another band for a long time called Digital Mindy. We did that. I started that when I was 15 because I broke my back and I couldn't walk for a while. I was in a lot of pain. I needed something to do, so I started writing songs. And that kind of gave me a career path and a trajectory to focus while I was shut down physically. Um, I did that band for a long time. We did a lot of cool stuff. We did deals with MTV. We went on full US tours. I think we started playing when I was around 17, 18. And then it kind of got to a point to where I said, I want to do something a little different. Making an income as a musician is a little more difficult than it used to be. I got to think about, what do I want to do? What do I really want to do? I was about 25, so I started Villains about 10 years ago. So I was like, what do I want to do? And the answer is I want to run around Chicago in a costume. That's really what I want to do. So I was like, let's make an excuse to do that. So, I started the band and it just took off from there. We started playing conventions, and it's been honestly a 10-year journey. The stories you probably wouldn't believe, but they're all true and it happened.
That is absolutely insane. It's kind of funny because far before I ever met you, I heard the name Vias for Villains forever through
Yeah.
the con circuit mainly,
Yeah.
and I never really got a chance to. I had heard your music and I was like, it's fantastic, it's great. The
Thank
the
you.
way that they cover stuff, it's not like your typical like cover. Like
That's awesome. Thank
it's
you.
completely different. It takes on a kind of a life of its own per se. And I was always amazed at how you guys do that. But your fucking live performance is everything. Like
Ah,
I thought I seen great live performances before in my life, but I'm just like at this this little con in New Jersey, and I heard you guys are going to be there. I'm like, great, I actually get to see them now finally,
nice.
and I got to watch y'all twice while I was there, and I'm just like, fuck, this guy never stops moving. I've never seen anything like it in my whole life. I'm like,
Thank you. Thank you.
it's fucking nuts, and I feel like you guys should be on like huge festival stages because you're just that damn good.
Yeah, what the fuck? Why aren't we on those stages? No.
I mean,
you
I'm
know,
like
I
they.
I'm open to it. I'm always open to doing more and taking it higher. But honestly, I there's something about the intimate setting that I really like. I really like being able to jump off the stage and touch people. Not like touch them in a bad way, like, oh hey, where touch you, like molest you. But like I like being able to jump off the stage and like connect with people and not have to worry about that gap, because we've done shows that were in larger 8,000 person venues where they've got the barricades and all the shit and the crowd's like over there somewhere and you're like, hi, I'm just standing here. I feel like so much of our energy comes from exactly what you were saying, being able to get out there and dance with people and kind of, I always look at it as being on stage is like our church. We're spreading our gospel, and we want you to be our congregation, so we want to get out there and dance and feel all of that soul with everybody. And when we play some of those larger festival style venues or festival style cons, it's a little bit harder to connect with everyone when they're kind of over there and you're like, hey, I want to I want to sing songs for you. you know
Oh
so no, I
yeah.
appreciate that, man. I appreciate that you guys enjoyed it. Getting to go out to Evil Expo and do that was such a big highlight for us. We had such a great time and it was just so much fun. I swear I didn't freeze. Or did I?
There you go. I think
Hey, I'm back.
I think it's on my end because everybody's saying that they can hear you talking the whole damn time. So
Now we're gonna. Oh, really? Can they?
yeah.
Well,
I think it's
actually,
just freezing for me and you.
every time it freezes, I'm gonna be like, "Fuck you," and we're gonna see. We're gonna get them on that. I think
Yeah,
it'll be
I
fun.
think it just freezes for me and you because everybody else is saying that it's fine the whole time.
So they're
So
seeing all the awkward pauses of me going.
yeah, they're saying you, which will make the show great. It'll make it great.
Amazing.
So, you have actual like college training in music writing and production and stuff like that, right?
Where did you get that?
That's what somebody told me.
Anything? They
Yeah.
lied.
Yeah, somebody told me you like went to college or
They
something.
lied to you.
You have like a PhD. You have like a PhD in this shit.
Yes, I'm Dr. Agitator, Doctor of Music. No, I've never gone to
We're
school.
frozen on each other again. Hold on.
Did I lose you? Well, I'll keep talking just for that. But then he won't get the message, so why will I say it? Damn! Fuck you! No, I'm just kidding. Am I back? Am I back?
Yeah, you're back for me.
No, I never went to school for it. I've never had training of any kind other than vocal lessons from the amazing Laura Kessler, who is an independent teacher here in Chicago. She's amazing. She helped me take my voice to other levels. My father was a musician, so I grew up around it, but I was the most musically inactive, not inclined person ever. I couldn't sing. I couldn't hold pitch. I just didn't understand it. I broke my back, and then I just started writing songs. I don't know where it came from. I don't know how. I know nothing about music theory, and I don't believe it's that necessary anymore. But all the songs you hear that we do, even all of the orchestral pieces, I've scored music for movies, TV, video games, and I don't know a lick of music theory whatsoever. I just play from the heart. I feel it, and if it sounds right, then it's right to me. I always say writing music is like having sex. You just touch until it feels right. And then when it feels right and you get that emotional burst, then it's the right thing. I think you lost me, didn't you? Because you're dancing. You're dancing.
There we go. If it freezes,
music is like having sex.
If it freezes, I'm dancing. That's all there is to it.
I'm dancing.
I'm going to make it interesting one way or another.
That's all you can do, man. That's all you can do. But yeah, I'm not Dr. Agitator.
Gotcha.
Only a mister, but one day when I get my PhD, I'll be a doctor. I'll be Dr. Agitator.
Okay. I feel you on that. I tried the band thing forever, and I didn't know a lick of fucking music theory or anything. Lemmy from Motorhead was like my fucking idol, so I picked up a bass and just started fucking playing and listening and practicing, but I couldn't ever keep a band together, and somehow in between failed bands and being a promoter, I became a clown.
There you go. Me too.
I'm not sure really what happened, but you know what? I'm good with it. I'm totally good with it.
Yeah. No, it's a tough business.
We froze on each other again.
Damn.
This is fun.
Damn.
There we go.
And you know what else? No, I'm just kidding. No, that's amazing. I became a professional clown also because being in the music industry will do that to you. It will turn you into a clown of the highest order. Being in the music industry is one of the worst businesses you could ever be in. It's terrible. Why am I doing this? You know what? I quit. I'm not doing it. No, I'm just kidding. I'm saying. But no, but you did you find that being not having that training, did it help you or do you feel like it hurt you?
You know what? It depends on the situation. I feel like in some ways, when it came to like your elitist bands, that kind of hurt because they would come up and be like, "Oh, what kind of skills did you use to come up with this and that and that?" And I'm like, "Huh? What? What the fuck are you talking about? I just sat down and fucking kept playing different notes until I heard something that sounded good to me, and I fucking shoved it all together. I have no idea. And then I would meet bands that were like that they'd be like, fuck, that sounds really badass. Like, how did you even come up with that? And a lot of the shit that I would write actually came up in my dreams. I
Well,
would
wow,
dream
nice.
it and then wake up and play it.
Yeah,
And like I
that's
wasn't
amazing.
kidding, and everybody's like, "Oh, you're lying." No, I'm dead serious. Like literally, that's how it would happen. But
Yeah, I hear you.
I haven't even picked up a bass guitar in like 2 years, 3 years.
Oh yeah. It's crazy. I don't know where it came from on my end. I just kind of one day was like, I'm gonna write songs, and then I just started doing it. I was bored and I needed something to do, and it just came together.
So my next question for you is actually one I've been asking a lot of bands, and I get a lot of like mixed reviews on it. But with the way social media is in the music industry today, do you feel like it would be better to be on a record label or better to be DIY?
I think it depends on your goals. If you're saying, let's be on a record label, let's be famous and be rock stars and fast cars and shit, then I think that boat is pretty much sailed for most people. The business is in such a bad place that, they're not, that's just not how it is anymore, really. And I feel like, I was approached by a couple of labels for my last project, especially, and I turned every one of them down, and I just stayed where I was because I knew they were going to take my music, give it to somebody else, and dissolve my entity. That's what they do, really. They want to acquire your music, but they don't want you. And that's okay if you're a song seller, but I'm not. I believe in my music. I want to push my music, and I want to have control over who gets, how it gets shared and how it gets spread. I don't like the idea that someone can tell me, well, no, you're not playing that show. You're playing this show. So for me, I can see how it would connect you to more people, but that doesn't necessarily equal more income either. See, the sad truth is, if I sold 2,000 CDs as an independent, I'm going to make 10 times more than I would selling a million as a signed artist. Then that's just a fact. They pay you a fraction of a penny every time you sell a CD. We're independent artists. Every time you guys buy CDs, it goes right back into the band. It goes right back to me. We profit and we survive from that. We thrive from it. So it costs, we're not, a big label where every time you buy a CD, you're paying for some record executive to ride in a better car, and that's really what ends up happening. You love a band, you try to fund that band, but you're actually funding the label and they're keeping the money. And I'm going to guess I cut out on your end because I don't hear myself talking to you in a delay now. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, the ship is going down. Oh, hi.
What's up?
I think I've learned through audio how I can tell when you can hear me and you can't, because I'm hearing the delay on your end in my ear. So it's like I know now when I'm cutting in and out. So
Sweet.
so that's how I feel about labels. I feel like they can be good to introduce you to an audience that's larger than what maybe you can get to yourself. However, I don't know if that matters if they're keeping 99.9% of the revenue and they make 99% of the decisions. I don't know if
Yeah.
that helps you as an artist. I feel like in today's day and age, you can reach people, you can play bigger shows, you can absolutely push and endorse yourself as an independent. You can make a sustainable living. This is what I do. I don't have a day job. I'm just Dr. Agitator, PhD, 24/7.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the same way with me and Mischief. We're Scoops of Mischief,
Exactly.
24/7.
There
And
you go.
and it can be done, but it's a lot of fucking work. Like
Yeah,
people
it
don't
is.
realize for a independent artist how much work actually goes into it. Like it's like 7 days a week, 16 to 17 hours a day of nonstop work, and
It's true.
a lot of these bands, a lot of these artists, they don't want to they want to live the lifestyle, but they're not willing to put the work in to get there.
Yeah.
And that's why
No,
a
that's
lot of them don't
absolutely
make
true.
it.
Right, because they get into doing music because they have this idea in their heads that well, this is party time, it's not work time. And the reality is the party is 1% of the job.
Yeah.
99% of the job is calculation, work, execution, loading, unloading, setup, how does it sound? How are we fixing this? Then you've got recording albums, you've got marketing online. And when you're one man doing 99% of that, it gets tiring. You get tired,
Yep.
It's a pretty crazy business. And but on the flip side, when people connect and they purchase your product and they help you get funded, or they do things that show their love for your brand, it really, really matters to you. You end up in a space where you're not like some record exec. I lost him in my ear, so that means I'm just off on him. This is the part where I say bad things about him. Bad things. Oh, Scoops, guess what else? And then your mom called me and told me that you're not a very nice guy. And, oh, hi.
Wow.
So I feel like it means more when as an independent artist, when you get support from a fan base and a community. It's not like some record exec that's like, well, I've got 10 million of those fans lying around. Who cares?
Yeah.
You're just like, every person matters to you. You want to be involved, and you end up forming this little community, for better or worse. As an independent, I'm sure you've solicited outside help, and I can say wholeheartedly that is such a mixed bag. Sometimes you get people in that are really helpful to the cause, and then you get people that stab you to death, and they want to throw your body over the fucking fire because you didn't give them the nuts and bolts. I've worked with people that have made personal issues and personal allegations out of things based on business under the table. Like, it had nothing to do with any of that, but it was all business. So this, they know how to hurt you, and they kind of go after you. So wait, okay, I don't think he can hear me now. This is what we're going to say about him. We're going to say, you know what, Scoops, you son of a bitch. You think you're going to come at me with questions? Well, guess what? I've got the answers, man. I've got all the answers. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about it?
Drink a beer.
Hey, how's it going? I didn't know you could hear me yet. So, I wish every interview was like that. I'm not kidding. Like, I wish I could just be like, hey, guess what, everybody? Like little pauses. You got me off a good rant, though. But that's the truth. You get people in your organization that say they want to help, but they come in and they just slaughter you over and over. And as an independent, you really feel that. It takes time to rebuild from all that damage, And it's like weathering hurricanes. That's what I wrote the song "Blood in the Rain" about, was just all the people that just want to just piss on what you're doing, and you just have to weather that storm. And I feel like socially right now, that's an understandable thing. There are so many storms going on socially that we're all having to weather, but we're getting there, and I feel like it's helping. So that was 800 answers for one question. There you go. Did you lose me again? You know what? I'm going to come to this guy's house. I don't know, though. I don't know if I want to go to the house of a clown. I feel like I'd get my ass kicked in 5 seconds. Oh, hi.
Hi.
Hey, you're back.
Oh, yeah. Love it.
Yeah.
So my next one is it's definitely another one. It's not as intense though.
Yeah.
What do you prefer as a performer? Do you prefer big stage, big crowd, or do you prefer the more like bar, smaller, more intimate settings?
Well, I think both have their benefits, and I think I froze again.
No, you're good.
Oh, I haven't frozen?
No, you're good.
Okay. No, I think they both have their benefits. I think with a larger crowd, you can sometimes get them to do more as long as you participate with them. And it's kind of an incredible experience connecting with all those people and feeling all of that. I think we would do a lot of shows as villains where we would headline House of Blues in Chicago. And they were pretty packed. It was fun. It was cool to see that many people supporting what you do and your ideas. And, I like that. However, in a smaller setting, I see him dancing. Can he hear me? I don't think he can hear me. I don't think you can hear me, you fucker. You can't hear me, can you?
I can now.
Oh, hey! Ladies and gentlemen, don't fuck with the clowns. I'm serious. They'll kill you. You just got to be careful with it. You gotta know when to do it, when they can't hear you. That's it. But if I turn around and there's a clown behind me, I'm crying like in tears. But I like smaller stages too. I like them because, there's a little bit more of an intimate setting. You can really connect with people. You get to know people's names. You get to shake hands with people. I understand that the larger stage shows are necessary from time to time. But I always look at those more as you get better footage from larger shows. That's when you film really, but then it makes the show a little more mechanical. But I like to be able to be spontaneous and break keyboards and chase people and take my pants off and all that shit.
Me too. Me too.
Go.
I like to take my pants off occasionally and
Who's wearing
just
pants
take
right
it.
now? Not us.
I like that. Hey, you froze. I'll
Did I
dance
freeze or did
until
you freeze? I think
he
you
comes
froze.
back.
You
Nah.
fucking bastard. You froze, not me.
He'll be
Oh,
back in a minute.
hey!
Well, there we go.
Am I back there?
Yeah, you're back.
Yeah, okay.
That works. That works. That works. So,
That's right.
if you could tour with any 3 bands, whether they have passed on to the other side or not, who would it be and why?
Whether they're alive or not, damn, that's hard. I would say Mozart.
Never got that before.
That'd be pretty cool. I would like to, in a weird way, open for a live show of Phantom of the Opera.
That would make sense.
It would be cool to go on tour with Nine Inch Nails.
That would be
Those
badass.
Yeah. But if you're asking me like 3 bands that are alive that I'm like, no, then it would probably be Nine Inch Nails. I'd like to go on tour with Pig again. They're pretty cool. I'd like to, I don't know, like, that's a big ask. Maybe Marilyn Manson would be fun. I don't know.
Ooh, yeah.
I like 90s music. I like goth stuff. I like industrial. Nights are Ebb. Oh, we froze good. I've got to tell you something. This broadcast isn't real. I'm in his basement. He's trying to kill me. He's not going to let me out. You guys need to send help.
We'll
my God.
each other here in a minute.
Yeah.
Like now.
Come on. Somebody send help. Send help. Send help now. Oh, hey.
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 So, would it be
trying to escape?
Would 9 Inch Bills be would it be when he's clean or on drugs still?
Here's the truth. I get like that maybe some people romanticize this idea that being on drugs makes you a better performer. I've been on drugs. I couldn't write shit. And I couldn't perform worth a shit. Like, I had spinal surgery and knee surgery in 2013, and they put me on Oxy for a couple of years. And my God, was it chaos. I turned around one day and I noticed there were all these hanger-ons in our crew, all these people just around. I noticed that, I was like on stage slower, sluggish. I had a hard time. I don't know if drugs make anybody a better performer, in my opinion, mainly because it didn't work for me. I'm better when I write stuff clean and I'm not, like in that situation or that headspace, because what they don't tell you about drugs is that when you're on them, you just want to sit down and eat and play games. You don't want to do anything. Oh, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, shit. So I don't know if that makes anybody a better performer, in my opinion. I think having dedication to your craft, rehearsing, and learning makes you the best performer. I think practicing over and over and over and over again, because the whole goal is to be able to run a mile while singing your songs and make it seem effortless, right? But the reality is, in your head, while you're doing that, and you're doing moves and you're singing to some kid, you're like, hey, the truth is inside. I'm like, I'm dying. Somebody help me. Oh my God, pour water on me. Why did I decide to wear a costume on stage? I need to call my mother. I'm about to die, But to make it seem effortless is the game, right? It's that level of dedication and all the rehearsing and practicing that goes into it, getting used to wearing your costume. All that stuff, I think, makes you the best performer. So I don't know if drugs have ever really helped Nine Inch Nails be better. Because I think I'm off the air now. Seriously. This is some fucked up shit. I don't know if I can keep talking to a man in a clown mask all night. I'm scared. I'm actually legitimately scared. And I need... Oh, hey!
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 So, what, this is always a question, even the question that I get all the time. What made you decide to dress up?
To dress up. Well, oh man, that's such a loaded question. So I want to say from the business end, it's because you want to brand something that seems a little more exciting. The costume talks for you a lot on stage. When you're out promoting and talking to people, it really speaks. It gets attention. I used to just show up at bars in my costume with no show booked or anything. And I would just sit down and be like, I'll have a beer. And people would come and be like, what's going on? I'd be like, it's Friday. What's going on with you? And I'd take a drink. And then by the end of the night, we would inevitably always have a big crowd of people with us, and we're doing crazy shit. And it's like, hey, we're a band. Come see our show. So it seems like on that end, I think when I was 25, I probably had an emotional breakdown. I was in a really weird place in my life. Can you hear me? Did I freeze? I know I'm like waxing poetic with this. I'm like, my life was so hard. And he's like, I can't even hear you, you son of a bitch. I can't even hear you. Oh, hey, we're back. So no, I think I was in a rough place. I was engaged to somebody that I had been with for about 10 years. We were together from the time we were 15 to around 24, 23, 25, something like that. So it was like 8 to 10 years, somewhere in that range. And, it was a pretty devastating situation. We were supposed to get married, and then a couple of weeks before, it all just fell apart. And, it's okay. Things go where they're supposed to go. But I think it kind of definitely fueled me with this idea of, you got to do something. Why am I still doing the same stuff over and over again? I need to get off this rut and do what I really want to do, become who I really feel like I need to be. And then I realized that doing Digital Mindy for 10 years, that was not my real band in that sense. That was training. I was training myself to do this. And I started to feel confident. I felt, did I lose him? I think I lost him. I think I lost him again. Oh, where is he? Oh, there he is. So, I think I actually, I put myself in a position where I started to feel comfortable with writing and creating. But at that point, I had been training myself for about 10 years. So what I noticed that was different was Digital Mindy was a shotgun blast. Like sometimes I hit the mark when I wrote songs and sometimes I didn't. Sometimes I got exactly what I wanted in my head to come out, and then sometimes I didn't. But with Villains, from the inception of it, it was everything that I heard. I was finally able to translate. I was actually hearing music in my head and then able to write it with no formal training. It just started coming out. And I was like, yeah, this is what I want. Digital Mindy felt very metal and new metal in the late 90s sense. And that felt like that had kind of passed. So I wanted to do something that was a little bit more dark, a little more pop oriented. But instead of screaming so much, I was singing way more. And to the point of where the screaming is all but gone in villain music, and it's almost all sang. So yeah, that was the inspiration was to define something a little bit different. I think I lost him. Man, this guy, look at him dancing over there. The bastard just dancing. Oh! So, cutting back into what I was saying, I just felt like it was a good excuse to express how I felt internally a little in a different way and to encourage others to do that. It felt like a movement at the time. It felt like a way to say, we can be whoever we choose to be. We don't have to be who we're told we are.
Yeah, I definitely that's kind of the same realm as to kind of what got me into doing this.
I love that.
The band that I was in just wasn't really happening, and I found just kind of fell into this whole Scoops the Clown thing, and it just took off. But I've always had an extreme love for theatrical bands. There's something about a theatrical band that stands above anything and all else. Like every theatrical band I've ever seen, they have this whole it's like watching a film and watching a film play out the entire time, and you're playing these characters while being in a band. And it's the best of every single world that you could possibly think of.
I agree. I agree. It's you have to be a costume designer. You have to be able to make costumes. You have to be able to sing, dance, write music, make websites. My father makes all of our websites and designs our CDs and stuff like that. He's been my partner for like 20 years. I mean, he's been my partner for since I've known him, you know, and I was a kid and he was wiping my butt. But, you know, he's been my creative partner for such a long time. He's really the other half that really helps make this thing run on that end. And he doesn't get enough credit or praise. But yeah, you know, I feel like I'm with you. Like, you know, it is the best of all worlds. You get to be a little bit of a clown. You get to be a little bit of a magician. You get to be a musician. You get to be a singer. You get to be a dancer. You get to inspire and entertain and awe. And that is everything that a villain show is about. That's what we love to do. Did I lose him? Did I lose him? I think I lost him. You know what? If I've got to watch that head wiggle one more time, I'm going to crawl through this camera and I'm going to rip your head off, clown. I'm going to tear you up. Oh, hi. Hi.
Hi. You may not be able to tear my head off, but you can take my nose off.
Clowns, man. Let me see that. That's amazing.
That and it's my best impression of Michael Jackson.
Oh, Michael Jackson. Oh,
and now it's crooked.
That's amazing. That's really cool looking. I like it when you take your nose off. It's creepy.
Thank you. So what got you guys into, how did you land doing the con thing? Because you guys are so well known on the con circuit. Like, how did you fall into that?
We're infamous, some would say.
Yeah.
So, you know, I was playing a lot of clubs, and you were in a band. You know this. Clubs just, they're hard. It's hard work as a band in today's day and age. You try to play a club, and they're very like, you know, they don't want to pay. You froze now. Now you froze on me. Look at him, he's just sitting there, looking happy. I'm gonna try to mimic what I'm seeing. This is all I got. Oh, and there you are. Can you hear me?
Yep, I can now.
You froze on my end this time. You were like,
oh, weird.
Yeah, I know. Who knows? So we got into the conventions because clubs, you know, they fight us with payment. They'd fight us with how much did you draw? What are you doing? And then I figured out, you know, through Richard Nash, who runs Anime Magic. Now it's a convention in Illinois. And they should be back up in August doing the con for you guys, which is awesome. But Richard Nash was our drummer for years. He was the Pulse. And the Pulse came to me one day in 2012, and he said, hey, man, why aren't you booking cons? And I was kind of like, well, you know, I don't know. What do you mean, why aren't we booking cons? Because I had gone to conventions as a collector because I love comic books. So I was just like, oh, like, you mean like Wizard World? He's like, no, there's like all these anime conventions. There's steampunk conventions. And I was like, oh, I didn't even think about that. So he kind of gave me the idea. Then I started sending press kit after press kit after press kit, just kind of cold calling, blind sending. I think I lost him. Look at him. Look at this. I'm going to be Scoops. Oh, look, I'm Scoops. I'm frozen, and I've got horns. And that means that I'm not scary. Am I? See? I'm Scoops. Look at me. Oh, hey! Oh, my man. So I can hear you, but you're not moving now.
Oh, that's weird.
You're frozen like this. You're like,
that's a little weird.
That's a little weird.
Yeah.
At least on my end. But what was I saying? Oh, yeah. So the Pulse came to me and he said, hey, man, try these cons. I started cold calling, sending packages out blind with demos attached to it. Say, hey, we're V is for Villains. We do stuff. Book us. And that's how we've gotten booked. You know, I'm management. We don't have proper management. You know, we're independents in that way. And, you know, so it's just me. You know, when they ask for booking, it's me, you know. So it's helped us and it's hurt us in ways. So it's always we're always trying to stay out there and look at new opportunities, which was why it was cool to jump onto Evil Expo and get up there and play in New Jersey, man.
That's a lot of how we ended up at cons because I didn't really think about it. And Mischief kind of looked at me one day and she was like, why are we not like booking ourselves at cons?
Yeah.
Like, what do you mean, why are we not booking ourselves at cons? She's like, well, we could be doing cons. There's so many people that love cons and we're horror themed,
Right.
and she's like, we could do everything and put ourselves out there even more. And
Yeah.
that's how we met Jeff, because we ended up seeing a flyer for Evil Expo. She's like, Evil Expo? That'd be great
Yeah.
for us.
Yeah, I love the name. That's why I actually talked to Jeff about it.
Yeah,
Same reason.
so we messaged Jeff, and Jeff's like, yeah. And then he ends up contacting us. He's like, well, I have another event in October that's before that I would like you guys to do, because this event that we're doing in New York has a haunt attached to it. We're like,
Yeah.
great, let's do it. So we did that one, and it was a blast. And I always love doing anything for Jeff and his staff. And we went to Evil Expo, and I got so excited. Like I didn't even know you guys were going to be there until like the day of. And I seen it up on the board. I'm like, oh shit, Venus for Villains is going to be here. Dope.
We're here.
I actually get to see them finally.
That's how we do it. We just
I
here.
love going to cons. I've always went to cons, and I'm a big collector of anything horror genre, horror related, horror Funko. I collect the little Funko dolls and anything horror. So I love going to the cons, and every time you guys would come to a con, and I was going, it was like a different day than what I had bought the ticket for, and I'm like, fuck, fuck.
Yeah. That's what happens. Sometimes you miss each other, Our very first convention was actually Steampunk World's Fair with Jeff.
Really?
Got back to me. Yeah, that was our very first one in 2012.
Huh.
And Jeff got back to me and said, hey, come do this thing. And I was like, yeah, sure, man. And I went out, and I was kind of like, things aren't organized. What's happening? And I realized that's just how cons are. But it was actually, it's true. I was like, what's happening? Nothing's organized. But then I realized that's just cons. But it was fun, man. We had a blast, and that was definitely our introduction into cons. It was a good time.
Yeah, we've gotten used to that. We were the same way. We're like, what the fuck is this chaos? Because I think the very first con that we ever did was up in Boston, and we did the back when it was still around. We did the Rock and Shock festival and con, and we got there, and it was like complete and total fucking chaos everywhere.
Yeah.
And we're like, what is going on? Where are we supposed to go? Where do we check in? And like, people are like screaming at us, and I'm like, fuck you, buddy. it was bad. It was so bad. But after a while, it's like we learned the system of the chaos.
Yep.
And now we just kind of
perfectly put.
Yeah, now we just kind of flow. Like, we know what to do, and we're like, just give us a goddamn pass and show us our spot. That's
right.
it.
And you can always see the people that are the entertainers, the performers that are green, because they show up and they're like, and you're always just kind of standing there going like, you'll get it. You'll be fine.
yeah, you'll be fine. You'll be fine.
If they tell you to take a drink in the green room, just take it.
Yeah, 2 years from now, you'll be good. You'll be a vet. It'll be okay. So at this point, since we got 15 minutes left, it is now time to turn your ass over to the fans. So you fans get to ask Mr. Agitator here your questions. So you post up your questions. You post up your questions. I'll post them up on the screen for Mr. Agitator to see them and answer them. So you have Mr. Agitator for 15 minutes.
15 minutes with Mr. Agitator. 15 minutes in heaven.
Well, not quite that way, but we'll get banned for that.
It's tough out here as a musician, man. I gotta make money.
This is true. This is true.
Selling my body, that's fine.
I seen a DJ the other day that I've known for a while, and she now has an OnlyFans.
Oh, shit.
What are you doing? And she was like, it's tough out here for a player. That's literally what she said.
I feel inspired now. Now I gotta start one.
I'm like, well, whatever, girl. She's like, you should start OnlyFans, Scoop. She's like, you know how many girls want to see a third cone? I'm like, nobody wants to see my third cone. I promise you. No one wants to see my third cone.
Same. It's just not very sexy when you're a dude. Oh, did you freeze? So what is that? Let me see. I'm going to move my little phone so I can read these better. What was their favorite venue to perform at? Asks Rebecca. Um, that's that's a tough one to answer, honestly. I really liked playing at House of Blues. I liked House of Blues because their staff was professional, well put together, really dedicated to making sure that the show was the best it could be. So I appreciated that. I'm going to stand up. So I appreciated that, and I liked that a lot. So I liked House of Blues. I like a lot of places, So I don't know. It's hard for me to choose a favorite. What I really like is playing for you guys. So wherever you guys are, that's where I like to be. So I'm sticking to it. Laura asks, yay! Laura asks, how are things going with the new album and what path do you see it going on? Ooh, tough question.
That's a good one.
I'm not supposed to be answering these questions yet because I haven't announced the title. Oh, Laura, what are you doing? I'm going to sit this down a little bit so I don't have to carry around. I can't say yet. I know you want, I know you really want me to say, and I want to have something more concrete to tell you. But the truth is that these things kind of, they change, they evolve, as we know. Albums evolve. So I don't want to give you too much info yet, just in case it changes and it goes a little bit of a different direction. You're expecting one thing and then it becomes another thing. All I'm going to say is that it's different for us, but it's still going to be us. So it's exciting. That's my answer. I'm sticking to it. Leah asks, how scared are you of Cerberus? I'm very scared of Cerberus. I'm not even kidding, man. That guy scares the shit out of me. He just comes up and he's like, he's him. Don't tell him I'm terrified of him. Well, that's the thing. He already knows. So I don't have to tell him, man. He knows. So yeah, I'm scared of that guy, clearly.
I love whenever I'm at a haunt because when I'm at a haunt, I've learned over the years of doing a haunted house. I could walk out into the midway and I could scan over everyone that's standing in line. And I can always tell the ones that are absolutely fucking terrified of me.
Yeah.
And of course, once I pick that one out, I'm beelining it straight for that fucking person. And I'm going to terrorize them until they get into that haunt.
I love that. I love watching that. In 2014, we did a haunted house, like for the entire month. It was called Fear City, and it was in Morton Grove. Very cool. I loved doing that gig. That was a great gig. But I went through the haunted house one night because it was slow, and they said, "Hey, go ahead and go through. Go ahead and go through." And I said, "Yeah, sure." So I was walking through in my costume, and some of the actors would jump out, and I would scare them. They would come out and they'd be like, "Ah!" And I would be like, and they go, "Oh." I think they thought maybe I was one of them. I don't know.
I don't know. I've got that before, like when we go and guest act at a haunted house. We'll walk through as ourselves, and I've like dropped people. They'll come out expecting a normal person, and they see my ass sitting there, and oh shit, and they just freak out like break character. I'm like, don't do that, don't do that.
I love it. I love it.
Bad.
Oh geez, says Leah. Oh geez, I bet he felt the terror.
Come on, guys. Who else got some good questions for Mr. Agitator?
He ate your terror. That's what he eats for breakfast, for sure.
I know y'all got some good questions in you.
Nobody got any good questions? You got a question for me? I'm waiting. I'm just sitting here waiting.
You're not getting as bad as questions as I normally get when I do Q&As. I think one of the ones I got the other day, I did an interview and I got asked if I'd ever snorted blow off of a hooker's ass.
Oh, who hasn't? That's just normal, right?
I was like, no.
You know what, man? The only question I would ask in response to that would be, what is your mother's telephone number? I want to call her. I want to call your mother, and I want to ask her, did you know that Jimmy is saying he's done blow off hookers' asses? He's asking people that question. That would be, and she'd be like, who is this? I'd be like, it's Mr. Agitator.
That's true.
Working on my PhD. Any questions? Anybody? He froze again. He's like this. Oh, man.
There we go.
There he is.
There we go. We got another one.
Sarah Lawson asks, what is your favorite song of all time? Man, that's really difficult. I feel like I have favorite songs for certain moods, but I don't know if I have like a favorite song of all time. I have songs that I love greatly that I listen to a lot. Some of those songs are going to be things that you probably already know, like I'm the Walrus from the Beatles, one of my favorite songs. Immigrant Song was one of my favorite songs, which is why we covered it. Billy Joel. I love Billy Joel. I love Elton John. I love Frank Sinatra. I love Ray Charles. I grew up listening to a lot of that stuff. I love Run the Jewels. I love K-Flay. I love 9 Inch Nails, Depeche Mode. I love music, and people say that, right? Like, I don't believe that anybody likes one type of music or one song or anything. I think we all like different kinds of music. So that's me in a nutshell. I like musical theater. I like all kinds of stuff. Laura asks, when are you going to create a song for the Immortal Mistress? Well, I can do that. I'm a songwriter. You want me to write a song? I will pull up a ditty for you. I will make something, and hopefully you won't hate it. I can do that. Like, I wrote this song. It's for you. Like, listen. Like, oh shit.
It's all for you.
I wrote that for you.
It's totally for you.
I can do it. I get inspired by a lot of things in life, Mostly when I write music, it comes from an idea. If I feel like I've got a cool idea, then I run with it.
I actually have another question for you. So,
sure.
What inspired your character that you portray?
Mr. Agitator. So the name came from Digital Mindy. That was the very last Digital Mindy song I wrote. It was called Meet Mr. Agitator. And that was the name of the album, Meet Mr. Agitator. I don't know what everybody was meeting, but they were going to meet him. So the name seemed pretty obvious. The character design, it's going to sound a little strange. I've been kind of drawing this since I was a kid. It's almost self-actualized in that way. If I found an old tub that had a bunch of drawings that I was doing from like 5 to 10 to 11, and it looked like this, pretty much the same. And I don't know, it was always in my head. I guess it was always there, so I just kind of materialized it, and then it evolved over time. You can see very much like a standard comic book how we have our golden age costumes, our silver age costumes, and our modern costumes. It's very strange in that way. Absolutely feel like our lives ended up being a lot like comic books.
I like that. That is fucking awesome. So, do you have alternate costumes that you wear, or is this?
Oh yeah, we have a ton of different costumes. I think I probably have about 7 or 8. I like this one the best because this coat is very, very flowy. And this coat was actually created by my father 30 years ago, and I still wear it. One of a kind. So that's why I like to wear it all the time. Oh, Leah asks, are you ever going to play Eve of Extinction, Toy Box? Lol. I love those songs. Well, first of all, thank you for loving those songs. I appreciate that. Secondly, we are absolutely going to play them again. I was actually talking the other day. I thought it might be cool to do a couple of live streams through Facebook, just through us, just as villains. So you just log into our Facebook page and watch it from there. We thought it would be kind of cool to do a couple of streams where we play all of Evolve or Die. Then we play all of Murder in the Art. And then we play all of Villains Never Die. So we thought it'd be cool on 3 different nights to do those 3 albums in entirety. Because I don't think we've ever done that before. Thought it'd be fun.
That's awesome. That would be fucking fantastic.
I'm looking forward to it. I think it's going to be pretty cool. So on that night, you'll hear those songs.
Sweet. Fantastic. I'll definitely have to drop in there and
I'd love
listen.
that.
I try to catch you guys when you go live if I'm not working. I'm like I'm in there maybe not saying anything, but I'm in there watching.
Well, I appreciate it. It's all good. I'm glad you watched.
Try to see, does anybody else have any more questions
Any questions for Dr.
for
Agitator,
Mr.
PhD?
Agitator? Somebody's got to have some good questions.
Sarah Lawson says, that would be epic. Well, I'm glad. I'd like to make it epic. We like epic. Epic's good.
Yeah, I'm liking the live streams of all these bands going live and doing stuff, but at the same
That is
time,
kind of cool.
God, it fucking makes me miss festivals and shows.
Me too. I miss playing, man. I miss playing so much. I cannot wait to get on stage again. I'm like itching.
See, we were supposed to be doing this interview together.
I know.
It's like, man,
we're
that
supposed
fucking
to be like
sucks.
actually at the con this weekend. It's crazy.
Yeah, it really fucking blows.
Yeah,
I was so upset.
Me too. You know, I was really sad to not be there.
There we go. There's another question.
Am I going to call? Oh, that's my father. Oh, hey, Dad. Are you going to call your mom after the show? I feel like that's actually my mom as my father. This is getting terrifying. Yes, I will call. I'll call mommy. I will call mom. Rebecca, would you come to Seattle when there are tours again? Yeah, gladly. I like Seattle. Seattle's fun. You know, Rebecca, if you want me to play Seattle, send me a couple of venues that you know are going to open back up and you'd like us to come to. I'll get in touch with them and I'll see if I can come play. I think it'd be fun. I'd like to play.
I want to play. I want to go to Seattle so bad.
Come get in the car, man. Let's go.
Mainly because I want to go to the Funko headquarters and spend a lot of money.
Yeah, let's go. I'm in.
That's my main thing.
You like the Funkos?
Oh, yeah. So, shameless plug. Shoot.
Me?
Oh, yeah.
Right now we actually have signed CDs, some left over from the show the other night. So if you guys would like some signed CDs, we have signed copies of Murder in the Art, and we have signed copies of Villains Never Die, signed by the entire band. So if you guys would like a copy of those, feel free to place an order. Our Square store is V is for Villains. So all you have to do is put in Square, V is for Villains into Google. The link will pop up, or you can check it on our official website, which is www.vsforvillains.com. We only have a limited number of those CDs that are signed. We just signed a few extra just to have them. So if you guys want to get those in, we can't promise that we can fulfill every order with a signed disc, but I will send you a message if you order and we're out and let you know, hey, we're out of signed discs. Or do you still want this normal edition one? And we'll let you decide that way. But we do have signed discs for both albums. Feel free to place an order and we'll get it out to you ASAP.
Sweet. Thank you, Mr. Agitator, for joining me tonight. It's always a fucking pleasure. I'm sure I'll be seeing you again very, very soon.
You will. I had so much fun.
Awesome. We greatly appreciate you, and I'll see you soon again, brother.
Yes, you will.
And that was Mr. Agitator, you guys, from V is for Villains. You can actually see down there below, you can see their Facebook page streaming right there. Go to their Facebook page, check them out, give them a like, tell them I sent you. And for Friday, this has been the Friday Fuckery Show. I love you guys, and good night.